The Joe Rogan Experience.
It's so different now than what I remember it being.
The Olympics is a giant scam. There's two things going on simultaneously, okay? You have the best athletes in the world participating in their disciplines. That's happening. And then on top of that, you have enormous amounts of money being made, and none of it's going to the athletes. It is a giant scam. So the kind of people that are putting together that ridiculous opening ceremony where you got a bunch of drag queens and the Last Supper and all that
I didn't
shit,
understand that.
Nobody understands it because it's not made by athletes. It's not made by the Olympics. It's made by the people that are in charge of putting the Olympics out. So they're the ones who are reaping all the money and sucking all the cash out of these athletes.
Got it.
Not only do they do that, but then they'll go to places like Brazil. And so if it's going to be in Brazil, they build this fucking enormous place for it to participate in, to all the different arenas where different people do their thing. And then after that, nothing. And then all the people there who are poor are like, hey, where the fuck did this money come from? And why didn't you just spend it on the community? Why did you do this? Why'd you do this for volleyball? Like, is volleyball that fucking important that you didn't use that money to help people?
Yeah, that's
bizarre.
That sucks.
The money they make is astronomical. The Olympics makes billions and billions of money in television revenue and advertising revenue, and they don't give any of it to the athletes.
So it just goes to the Olympic committee?
They're just balling.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are the crazy people that are putting on the Last Supper with transsexuals. That's what they're doing.
Was it the Last Supper?
Yeah.
I saw it was something out
Fuck, it was.
It said something some Greek
nonsense. They tried to say that after the fact. The lady who was playing Jesus literally said she was Olympic Jesus. She was joking around about being Olympic Jesus because she was in the same position Jesus was in the Last Supper. Yeah. She had the halo behind her head. They're being artsy. They're being fun, but it's not the place for it. You're pushing this weird agenda in this place where people are already getting fucked over, right? The whole Olympics is just people getting fucked over.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the best athletes in the world representing your country at the highest level that possibly, humanly possible, for one, you should be getting compensated.
A shitload of money.
You know what I mean?
A shitload of money.
Getting compensated.
Yeah.
I think that there should be something that's more focused on the extravagance of this moment of the athletes waiting so long to be able to do this. And it should be more athlete focused for sure, and not so much like a show. Or
they let some wacky gay dude get a hold of the reins, and he decided to do this, and that's what it was. It's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. And he just decided to have a guy in a beard. But this is true. I mean, this is the actual person that put it together. That is who he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
They know who the guy is. I mean, we don't need to name him, but he's just getting enough hate as it is. But the whole thing's fucking completely insane. But my point is the whole Olympics are insane. They're robbing people. They're robbing the athletes. No one is tuning in. There's not billions of people all over the world tuning in just to see a bunch of transsexuals pretend to be Jesus and the disciples. That's not why they're tuning in. They're tuning in to see who's going to win the 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
Who's going to win this? Who's going to win that? Who's going to win the sprints? Who's going to win whatever the fucking event is? Who's going to win boxing? That's what people are tuning in. And those people that have dedicated their entire lives to wrestle in the Olympic Games, they're not getting a fucking scratch of that.
That's so crazy.
It's nuts.
Oh, man. So
it's nuts.
And there's nothing to do about, nobody can do anything about that.
It's just pure chaos. Well, at one point in time, there was probably no money in the Olympics because there was no television, right?
Okay, yeah.
So at one point in time, the Olympics was just about the best athletes in the world competing against the other best athletes in the world. It was for national pride. You bring a gold medal, you have a fucking parade when you get back home. It was great. And there was probably I don't know what the original, The one where Hitler was in the 1936 Olympics and he's fucking jacked up on meth and he's rocking back and forth. What? You seen that one?
No, dude.
You never saw that?
No, you're putting me on so much game right now.
You on this, bro.
You're putting me on so much.
Yo, I got a guy coming on tomorrow to actually talk about drugs in the Nazis, like all the crazy drugs that they were doing.
They had to be on drugs.
All kinds of stuff.
For
all
sure.
Kinds of cocaine.
They were getting free drugs.
Meth.
Yeah,
they were
getting
doing
free drugs.
And there was no just say no back then. Everybody's like, what does this do? Keeps me up for days? Let's go.
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
bang. Bang. So Hitler at the Munich Olympics is like, he's on meth and he's rocking back and forth. He's just amphetamine out of his fucking mind, just coked up, just rocking back and forth while everybody's watching the Olympics. What? Show it to him, Jamie.
Yeah, we need to see this.
We've played this like, look at him.
Oh my God.
Look at him rocking, dude. Look at him going. He's going.
Oh, what a
He's
maniac.
Going. That
What
dude ruined.
A maniac.
He ruined that mustache forever.
Yeah.
Just rocking back and forth. But
Wow.
back then, how many sports were in? Was that 36? 1936 or 38? 36. How many sports were in the 1936 Munich Olympics? Because now there's synchronized
everything.
swimming and rhythmic gymnastics.
Some type of shooting.
Yeah, there's decathlons.
They always have, I don't know when it started, but there's only a certain number of events. So if they like just put a new one in, they got to take something out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why they lost wrestling a few years ago and everybody got mad because they added like skateboarding or surfing or something like that.
Is that always been the case?
Yeah.
From the beginning?
Not since there was only like 10 games to start with. I'm trying to
How many events were in the 1936 Olympics, though?
Looking.
Because I know they might have put a cap on them in the future. I don't know if they had a cap on it back then. But my point is, back then, like in the Jesse Owens days, when Muhammad Ali won the gold medal, like those guys weren't doing that for money. For Ali, it was like a way that he could transfer into professional boxing. And, like with Meldrick Taylor and Pernell Whitaker, those guys got fast-tracked. Mark Breland, Evander Holyfield, all those guys who medaled.
The venues for the events they had, so they had a lot of going on.
So they have a lot of stuff, but not as much as they have now.
I don't know.
I wonder.
It's
See if you can find how many more events are there in 2024 than there were in 1936. We'll see if they say that. But the point is, like, everybody who did the Olympics before television, they just did it for national pride, just like winning the nationals in wrestling.
Yeah. Of course.
You do it just for the glory of it.
So there's 32 sports.
329 events and 32
events.
sports, including 28 core Olympic sports contested in 2016, 2020. And then what did it used to be in, like, 1936? 129 events,
Wow.
25 disciplines. So it's slightly less.
Gotta love the AI overview, right?
Nuts.
Just
Nuts.
quick.
Instantly. Give
Just
you all
quick.
the things.
All the things.
The Olympics were often considered controversial because they were held to showcase the Third Reich and Adolf Hitler's theories of Aryan supremacy. All jacked up on coke. Fucking we're
Yeah.
the best.
Oh
We're
my
the
God.
fucking best.
What a fucking maniac.
Yeah,
Wow.
nuts. So my point is, back then, there was no television revenue. There was no one was making billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So the Olympics started with, a very pure intention.
Yeah.
The pure intention of just, winning, being the best.
Be the best from your
But
country.
somewhere along the line, it became this fucking enormous business, and the athletes never got cut in.
And no one's ever spoken up about it, have they?
What can they do? They don't have any power. No one has any power.
Yeah, that's true.
The
I mean,
TV networks don't want to change it. They're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
like, shut the fuck up.
This is getting us
Because they're just
views.
stealing.
Yeah.
They're just stealing money. Imagine if that was the case with the NBA or the NFL or UFC. Imagine if the athletes got zero money and everybody else is driving around in Rolls Royces and living in
All the-
mansions. It would be crazy.
It'd be super crazy.
Yeah, you guys are fighting for glory.
Yeah.
You're not fighting
Only
for
glory.
This is not about money.
You represent your country.
We've done
your
studies,
state.
and it shows that when people fight for money, they don't fight that hard.
Yeah.
So, what? That's the Olympics. They're boxing for $0. They're punching each other in the face as hard as they can for $0.
glory. For
And this
glory.
woman today got punched in the face by a man.
Damn.
Yeah. They let a transgender, there's apparently at least two transgender boxers that are fighting in women's boxing. What the fuck?
I don't understand.
You can't understand because you're not retarded. There has to be something wrong with you to understand. To think that makes sense, and all you have to do is say you're a woman. No, but you're not, though. I say I'm a werewolf, but when the moon comes out, I stay a person.
Yeah, I mean, like,
this is not real.
I want to understand the from their part and their reasoning.
Because you're a nice guy. You want to think that there's some part of this, like there's probably some sort of a reason. If they explain it to me, like, oh, I see your perspective.
Yeah, I want to see the perspective.
There's no perspective. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Because that perspective would gray the line to like, well, why not just let all men compete in women's sports? Well, men would dominate, and that's why you have Title IX. There's a reason why men and women's sports are separated. Because it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
There's a reason why the UFC has weight classes. You're not fighting Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right? All these things are put in place to make things as fair as possible. Weight classes, gender distinctions.
This article says they're not transgender.
What are you talking about?
That's what this says.
They may be intersex? Wait a minute. Is this today?
This is about them, yeah.
July 30th.
That's today.
But there is an athlete that they were saying was a male athlete that was Riley Gaines posted it on her Instagram.
It says they failed test that came back, testosterone tests, elevated testosterone.
What does that mean? So they took testosterone? Is it exogenous? Why are they calling this person transgender? Are they female to male? Like they're trying to transition to male? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
What? Okay.
What article is this?
From Outsports.
Outsports. What is Outsports?
Well, I mean, I'd go to somewhere else.
But hold on.
it's
What is
just the first
Outsports? What is that? What is the...
Probably LGBT.
Yeah, it's LGBTQ. Yeah, it is. So this might be biased. Google transgender boxer.
Olympic
And what is it
trans boxer,
saying?
that's
Olympic
that's
trans
exactly where
boxers.
I started it. So they're previously
They will fight in
banned from
Paris.
Women's events. But
Yeah, but here it
because of
said, this
elevated
is the person. Algeria's Inane Keel, I don't know how to say that, and Taiwan's Lin Yu Ting were disqualified from God, these pop-ups. Disqualified from last year's Women's World Boxing Championships after failing gender eligibility tests. Okay, that means they're transgender, Jamie. That Outsports is a biased website. It's unfortunately, it's kind of propaganda about this kind of stuff.
Man, I don't. All right.
Scroll it up. Scroll it up again. So it says, yeah, the person has the XY chromosome. The boxer's chromosome test came back as XY. So that's a male.
It says it's alleged.
Well, at the time of the disqualifications, based on DNA tests, we identified a number of athletes who tried to trick their colleges into posing as women. The association's president, Umar Kremlev, told Russia's TASS news agency at the time, according to the results of the test, it was proved that they have XY chromosomes. Such athletes were excluded from competition. So I don't think Outsports is being honest about this particular thing, because there's outrage all over the place about this one particular person that they're talking there that did test for an XY chromosome. That's a man. I know it sounds horrible to misgender someone and all that good stuff. All that's great until you want to fight women or even compete against women. Let's just cut the shit.
Yeah,
Let's cut the shit.
When it comes to competition, I guess, there's a level of, like, it's just unfair, or it can be.
Also, we're denying sandbagging, right?
Yeah.
We both know what sandbagging is.
Yeah, for sure.
Sandbagging has always happened. You would get it in all sports. I remember when I was a kid, there was a kid that we were in Little League Baseball, and there was a kid that was 15. He was trying to say he was 13. This motherfucker threw heat. He threw heat. He had a crazy fastball, and everybody's like, how old is this fucking kid?
Little League throwing like
a little more
80,
clear.
89.
Oh, trans boxer Herji Bakadan aims for gold medal.
This is also from Outsports, though. So
Okay, so this one they're being honest about.
I mean, that's what I'm just saying.
Right, but they're not being honest about that other one. Competes in as he competes in the women's boxing division. Wait a minute. What does that mean? Why are they saying he then?
This was the other
See,
one.
they're saying himself in his nation. So this is a trans female to male competing in women's boxing. Because they're saying him. So Out would not be calling this person a male if this person identified as female. But they're competing in women's boxing. So that just means they're juicing up. They're just cyborging their way to the thing. He proudly proclaims he's never taking testosterone on his social media accounts. Okay, so he just says that he's a man? So he's transgender just by saying it. He's not doing any hormone replacement therapy. Knowing his strong stance against discrimination he faced during competition. So this is just a woman that says they're a man and competes with women. That's different. That's very different, especially if this person's not taking testosterone. That's very different. But the other one has XY chromosome. That's a boy. Congratulations.
There's a lot, man. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot for my brain to even process.
Well, it shouldn't be about ideology. It should be about biology.